Hello, Facebook friends and family, YouTube family. Michelle here with Sacred Earth. Today I want to talk to you about the Aquarius New Moon. So on February 4th, Monday, we have an Aquarius New Moon. And the new moon is when the sun and the moon come together. And you can't see any light from the moon. It's completely blacked out, or it's just a little sliver of a moon. This is the best time to set your intentions for the upcoming month, for the upcoming cycle, for whatever it is that you want to manifest in your life. So in the sign of Aquarius, we're talking about a very progressive and forward-thinking energy. People who are of the Aquarius archetype, Aquarius is the water bearer. People of this archetype tend to walk to the beat of a different drummer. They tend to go against the grain a little bit. It's a fixed air sign, so they do tend to be a little bit stubborn. They are detached. They like to kind of be in their own little world. There's sort of a genius that comes with this Aquarian archetype. I think of the archetype of the hermit, but it's a little bit different than the hermit. It has this very electrical energy to it, and it's the higher octave of Mercury. So it's people who are Aquarian nature. They tend to have quick mind, quick thinking, and it is the sign of the collective. So Aquarius is the sign that rules groups. So anything for this upcoming cycle, anything that you are doing with group consciousness, bringing forth something into groups is well favored during this cycle. It's something that you could really put your focus on. Also, it's about shining your uniqueness, your unique gifts. So, Aquarius is actually quite a hard sign to pin down. They're different. They walk to the beat of a different drummer, and sometimes they can almost be a little bit weird, a little bit strange. Think of when I think of someone like David Bowie, okay? Total Aquarius. I mean, he is like the epitome of Aquarius. Or Albert Einstein, someone like that. Someone who just has this sort of inner genius, inner quality that is just different than the rest of the world. And they're not afraid to march to the beat of their own drummer and kind of do their own thing. They don't need a lot of outer approval from people. They just kind of like to be left alone to do what they do. And it doesn't mean that they don't care about the group, because they actually do care very much about the group. A lot of the things that the Aquarians do is something that's going to benefit the whole, benefit the group. So they actually do care very much, even though it may seem the contrary. So it really hard to describe archetype, really different archetype. So Aquarius, has a lot to do with innovation and just, doing things more progressively and in a different way. So today I wanted to talk to you about that. And we have Sun and Mercury right now. We have Mercury, the planet Mercury. I'm sorry, Sun in Aquarius right now. Mercury, the planet Mercury in Aquarius. Sorry, I got tripped up on my words there. And so that's kind of like the main energy we're working with. There has also been this over the weekend, the past few days, this Saturn Mars square. I don't have the chart in front of me. I had trouble with my printer, so it'd be really nice if I had that chart in front of me. But we've had this Saturn Mars square. So that energy can be a little bit difficult. We have Mars, the planet of war, squaring Pluto, this very subconscious force. So hopefully you all stayed safe this weekend and didn't have to come across any dangers as a result of that energy. It can be a little, dangerous, I suppose, is one way to look at it. So anyway, but those are the main aspects. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time talking about the astrology. So today I'm going to do an oracle card reading about the Aquarius New Moon, just so we can get an idea of what energies we can be working with in this next cycle and what the themes are. So So the question today is, what are the primary energies that we should be focusing on during this Aquarius new moon cycle? Okay, and I'm going to pull from the crystal deck just to get it. I just want to get kind of like a general theme and just see what the crystal deck has to say about the overall theme or focus for this Aquarian cycle. So let me just give this a little more shuffle here. Let's see what comes up. Citrine, abundance. Oops, hold on. There we go. Okay, abundance, citrine. So citrine is a crystal that resonates with the solar plexus chakra. That's right here in the center of your belly, and it has a lot to do with your personal power and your personal will. Okay, so you know, a person with a balanced solar plexus chakra, you know, when they exercise their will, they come from a place that's divine. Someone in the negative expression of that chakra tends to be very competitive or overly competitive. So that's what this is about. And then when you are feeling, it's also a stone of abundance. So if you are looking to create more abundance in your life, citrine would definitely be the crystal that you want to have. So this is the overall arching theme for this cycle in with the new moon in Aquarius. So we'll keep that in mind. So citrine. Okay. All right. So now I'm going to pull from the Earth Magic deck. Okay. Earth Magic. And let's see what comes up for this Aquarius cycle. This new moon in Aquarius cycle in the Earth Magic deck. What are the themes that we're working with? Where should the focus be? Okay. Okay, let's see what we come up with here. Oh, isn't that funny? New moon. I love how these cards work. Oh, it's very hard for you to see it. There we go. New moon, and it says promise. And so you see the card has a new, it looks like a couple, right? A relationship. So there's this energy of newness and hope for the future, that kind of thing. They're looking off into the sunset, and it looks like, you know, when they're setting their goals together, right? They're dreaming, they're looking out in the same direction. And we see again that gold color, the one just like the citrine. So new moon. So this is about setting your new moon intentions. This is about setting your goals. This is the best time for you to make a list of all the things that you want to bring forth during this time. And it's just a really great energy to work with. So new moon. Okay, let's move on. So I don't know why, but I feel like I need to pull another card from that same deck. So I'm going to do that now. And let's see what comes up for in the same Earth Magic deck for this new moon in Aquarius. So Gaia, nurturing. So we see Gaia. Let me tilt that. Nurturing. So Gaia, this is the planet we live on, planet Earth, Gaia. Archetypally, that's the name of our Earth. And this is about nurturing. So, and you see that when you look at the picture of Gaia, you see this beautiful goddess. This is her energy, and it is abundant. I mean, you just see her blossoming here with flowers, and I'm gonna put my glasses on for this one. Flowers, and there's birds and butterflies, and it's green, and you may not be able to see the whole thing, but there's waterfalls, and it's absolutely gorgeous. Again, this is resonant of that abundance energy with citrine and the hopeful promise of a new moon, something new that can come into being. There's a whole lot of abundant energy, this feeling of just you know, good things coming into being or seeds being planted that are going to create a lot of abundance in the future. And, you know, when you set new moon intentions, you're not just setting new moon intentions for the cycle that you're in, but you're actually, you know, setting your intentions from this new moon to the next time the new moon is in Aquarius, or yes, to the next time where the full moon is, new moon is in Aquarius. So from new moon to new moon, that's a whole cycle. So it's not just for the month. This energy extends beyond. But right now is a good seed planting and fertile time for you to set your intentions on the things that are going to bring you more abundance. So, you know, Aquarius rules things like inventions or progressive ideas, ideas that are ahead of their time. So if you have some ideas that you want to bring forward and you've been a little bit afraid that they're, you know, a little bit too different or that they won't be well received, this is the energy you really want to work with, because even though sometimes things may be a little bit too progressive or ahead of their time, there is a time where we should bring forth these things, these new ideas, and this cycle is the time to do it. So, all right, so let's move on to another one. So we have the Keepers of the Light deck. Okay, Keepers of the Light. I've used these decks before, so people have seen those, but I feel like I should always identify the deck that I'm using. Okay, so Keepers of the Light. What do the Keepers of the Light have to say about this Aquarius new moon? Okay, let's see. Pull a card from here. Hold on one second. Holy Amethyst. Wow. Divine Alchemy. Let me tilt that so you can see it. Okay, and let me go ahead and read what it says. It says, move beyond current challenges. Focus on what you desire. So again, like I was saying before, this is the time to focus on what you really want and to bring forth your good ideas, your unique ideas. You know, or even if it's not about ideas, but it's about shining forth your unique qualities. Don't be afraid to march to the beat of a different drummer. Now, the really cool thing about the amethyst card is amethyst is also a stone of abundance, just like citrine. So let's look at these two together. So holy amethyst is the goddess that we're working with here. These two have a very close connection, okay, because the chemical makeup of citrine crystal is almost identical to the chemical makeup of the amethyst crystal. And the only difference between the two is that one is the heating of them. So when these crystals are being formed in the earth, heating, I can't remember which one is the higher temperature, but heating one at a slightly higher temperature creates the other crystal. I can't remember if it's the amethyst or the citrine, but they are almost identical in their chemical composition. So they are both stones of abundance. I actually happen to have one amethyst close by. Let me see. I think I do. Yes, I do. Okay. So here's the amethyst crystal. Isn't that beautiful? It just sparkles. I love this little piece. Okay. So that's the amethyst crystal. Really beautiful. I do have a piece of citrine nearby too, but it's too far away to get there. Anyway, so this again, the concept of abundance is being reinforced in this cycle. And what is abundance? Abundance can be anything. Abundance can be money, of course, you know, prosperity. And there is nothing wrong with being a spiritual person and living in a state of prosperity. Sometimes we get this idea in our head that in order to lead a spiritual life, that we have to live in sort of this impoverished state. And that really is an old way of thinking. In this new cycle, we are being urged to live in a state of abundance, to let go of all the fears of, of lack, of not having enough. So we are being shown that it is very possible and very advantageous for us to have all our needs provided for. Because on this hero's journey that we are on, and every single person on this planet is living their own hero's journey, if you look at it from an archetypal perspective, we have to overcome those lower states of lack. So when all our lower needs are met, from the root chakra to the sacral chakra to the solar plexus, the lower 3 chakras, then we are able to move into the gateway of the heart, the throat, the third eye, and the crown. So the higher chakras can be, brought into, opened. Okay, so we have to master those lower chakras. So abundance, it's super, super important for us in this upcoming cycle. So really good time to bring forth the things that are gonna help you in the future. Okay, all right. So that is the Keepers of the Light deck. And one more thing about Aquarius, we have been in this. There's bigger little cycles within bigger cycles, and back in the 60s, we started hearing a lot about the age of Aquarius. Okay, and we even have the song "The Age of Aquarius," which some people find to be kind of funny, but it really is true. We are at the beginning of a new age, a new cycle. So we are leaving or ending the Kali Yuga cycle. In Vedic astrology, or in Vedic terms, you would call it the Kali Yuga cycle. This has been the lowest, kind of the darkest point of humanity up to this point. And then now that's a contraction cycle, because everything expands and contracts. So in the Kali Yuga, we contracted down. Now we're moving into a new cycle. So we're going to go through another expansion. So, and if you look at the sun, our sun, and the Sirius planet or sun, okay, they sort of move together, and they kind of rotate together, and they kind of come out like this. Okay, they do this sort of loopy thing. And when they're furthest apart, that is the Kali Yuga. That is the darkest time on this planet. And when they start moving back together until they come into the golden age, they come together, that is the most expanded out time on this planet. So these are the cycles that we're in. We're just at the beginning of that new expansion cycle. And these are 26,000 year cycles. Okay, so we're at the dawn of the age of Aquarius. So, and Aquarius is all about moving towards the future, innovating technology. We're going to see so many technological advances in this world in the next several years and on into the future. So there's going to be some moral implication. Well, moral isn't, I don't know if that's the right word, spiritual implications of technology, and we're going to have to find some balance with it. We can't let the technology move, advance, or evolve faster than our own spiritual evolution, because that's pretty much a recipe for disaster. So we have to be really aware of how we use technology in our lives. So something to think about when you think about Aquarius and the Aquarian age. Okay, so I'm going to move on to another deck. And this deck is the Angels of Abundance deck. That one right there. And so this deck, I'm hoping this deck is going to give us a focus of something, another thing to focus on during this new moon cycle. So let's see what it has to say. We're looking for an area of focus or attention in order to manifest the abundance that has presented itself to us. And it's interesting, I always kind of take out some crystals and put them around me before I start these. And I consulted with the crystal deck before I consulted it, before I pulled a card here. And the crystal that came up was emerald. So emerald is the crystal that I brought into my space. And the card is all about compassion. So I feel like there is a connection between the overall arching theme of compassion and the abundance. So we'll talk more about that though. Let me move on. I kind of got off on a tangent there. So let me pull a card from this Angels of Abundance deck. Speaking of abundance, let's see what it says. Okay. All right. I'm gonna need my glasses for this one, so. Okay. Focus on your priorities. Where you put your focus is where you receive your outcome. Your priorities are calling you, which may produce a feeling of anxiety unless you give them the time and the attention they and you deserve. Even a small amount of time devoted to your priorities will help you feel better and more confident. Okay? So focusing on priorities. Okay, you see that? You see an angel there, and she's, you know, she looks like she's dressed like an ordinary woman. She's standing on a cloud, and she's holding a light. So, you know, it's just kind of makes me think that, you know, focusing on those everyday tasks, doing the work that needs to get done to produce good results, to produce a good outcome, and to increase your confidence. So that concept is going to bring more abundance. So just taking the time to do the work that needs to be done in order for the seeds that you're planting during this cycle to grow. Ultimately, by focusing on your priorities, you're going to bring forth more abundance into your life. So, okay, now this is a different deck that I've not used before, and it's Doreen Virtue Magical Unicorn Oracle cards. And I thought it'd be cool to choose one of these cards because I think it goes so well with the Aquarian archetype. Just, you know, these magical creatures that are just, you know, really special, unique, and different in their expression. So let's see what the unicorns have to say about this new moon in Aquarius cycle. Okay. Let's see. That's a good one. I like it. Simplicity. Let me see. There's a bit of a glare. Simplicity. Okay. And it says, put your energy into the basics and let go of excess. Wow. And again, you know, that really points to, you know, the theme of abundance, going back to that, and focusing on priorities. So if you look at these, of how these cards all sort of work together, simplicity, focusing on priorities, it's about really streamlining your efforts. Okay, so letting go of all the extraneous things that sort of take us away from what we need to do, and just being really super clear in your focus. And I'm thinking about that Saturn square Mars, and I think there's, that's happening right now, and I'm thinking there's a lesson in that Saturn square Mars regarding priorities and focus, because, you know, Mars is the planet of your energy, your drive, and your focus. You know, Mars is like a soldier coming in, and, you know, he only has a one-track mind, what he's got to get done, the mission. And Saturn is about, you know, doing the work, doing the hard work, bringing things into this reality. And, you know, and then of course we have, you know, the Aquarius New Moon. So, yeah, so I think it's really about just streamlining your focus, getting the work done, and ultimately by doing that, you are going to manifest more of your abundance. Is that what we're looking at? Okay, so the connection between the emerald crystal, which was represented in my card through compassion. What is the connection between having compassion and experiencing the abundance that I've been talking about? Well, true abundance comes from an expansion of the heart. So, you know, we can manifest abundance in this world. There are many people who are absolutely lacking in compassion that seem to have quite a bit of abundance. But when we're thinking about something that lasts, when we're thinking about something that, I mean, honestly, I think when you leave this earth, you take all the abundance with you, if it's truly manifested from a place of heart. So another thing I would like us to keep in mind at this time during this cycle is it is our compassion that is going to create abundance, not just for ourselves, but for other people. And I think that's also another purpose of the Gaia card that came up in the reading. You actually have it right here, this card. Okay, so Gaia is our planet. It's the planet we live on. So there's something tied into this cycle that it has to do with making progress and moving forward, and the whole concept of innovation that I've been talking about. But it has this overall arching theme or feeling that is tied to our compassion. So my advice at this time is, as you move through this cycle, as you're setting your goals and making your list for this Aquarius New Moon, is that you take the time to really look at it from a place of the heart, from a place of compassion. So anyway, so I wanted to just wrap things up very quickly. So citrine and amethyst, these two cards are showing you that there is abundance out there to be had, and that this is a great cycle for you to really plant those seeds for your future. Okay, and then we have the new moon, which of course we are talking about the new moon, and there is a great deal of promise for abundance as well in this new moon. If you just look at the picture, it shows, you know, two people together, and it even has the same colors. If you look at this is really cool. It even has the same colors as the citrine and amethyst cards. So again, it points to the abundance that is to be had. And Gaia, your connection to the earth, you're being nurtured, you're being supported. This is about being really anchored into the planet, being grounded and blossoming and expanding. Okay, so going through that expansion cycle that I was talking about. You know, Aquarius is very forward moving, and events can happen quickly at this time too. And finally, simplicity. Okay, simplicity. And I love this card too. It's hard to see. Hold on, let me go this way. Yeah. So simplicity. This card looks a lot like the Gaia card. Okay, so it's just, again, reminding us that simplicity is the key to manifesting our goals. And am I missing one? I think I might have put it back here. The Angels of Abundance. Yes, can't forget about that. Again, we also have the purple card here too, with the same color of amethyst. So keeping it simple, focusing on your priorities. By doing that, you are going to manifest so much abundance. Okay, so stay blessed, my friends, and thank you for joining me. I'm really happy to do these readings. They bring me a lot of joy, and they help me to exercise my throat chakra, which is something I definitely need to do. So I thank you for giving me the time to, taking the time to listen to me. Namaste.